Hi everyone, my name is Joseph Rivera. That's my mom. She's the one that gave the tribute to Uncle Jeff. But I didn't plan on talking. I just want to share a few words there because I feel like everyone that's come up here so far has been a friend of Jeff's, but not another son to him. And taking this walk right here, it reminds me of if I walk in the front door of the Spillane's house, then I come through their dining room, and this would be the hallway right here. And I would walk down that hallway, and I would come in, and I would hear John, sometimes Joe and Kev, with Uncle Jeff there in the kitchen. And he would turn around, and he would look at me and go, "Big Joe!" And I would come up to him, and I would shake his hand. And I can remember from being a very, very young son of my dad, we always used to have this competition where my dad would sit there. My dad had like vice grips for hands. And he would put out his hand, and I would, better shake my dad's hand, and we would have a little squeezing competition. So I would get started, and I'd start squeezing, gritting my teeth, and Dad would just kind of be sitting there, smiling at me. He said, "You gonna go? You ready? Come on." And then he'd be like, "Are you ready?" And I go, "No." And then he would just clamp down on my hand. My dad was so strong. And my dad had a great handshake, and he told me how important like that was to being a man. And I think if there's anyone in my entire life that's ever had the best handshake that I've ever received, it was Jeff Spillane. There's just something about him, He was just such a good fit for you, for who you were. And in my own life, I'm a young man. I lost my father last year. And growing up, Jonathan has been my brother. I have grown up my entire life knowing Jonathan. That's a privilege. But also, I've grown up my entire life having Uncle Jeff as my father as well. And I think that, because God is so good, he did this incredible thing where he gave me my dad, who was an example of everything. He didn't tell you necessarily how to do things, but he showed you. And if you wanted to know something, you could just say, "Well, let me watch my father, and I'll know how to do it." But Uncle Jeff is kind of, I think, more like a man in my own heart, because Uncle Jeff was not afraid to deep and go into his feelings. And, that's what he really exemplified, like being able to talk about what it means to be a man. We would do something called Dead Man's Talk. And I don't know, some of you might know what that is, but we would go out to dinner, and it would be like dead men were talking, because it would never leave that table that we sat at. And we would talk about my dreams, my love life, like my sister Grace. Uncle Jeff always wanted to know who the dame was in my life, who I was interested in, who maybe was interested in me. And we would talk about my dad, because Uncle Jeff was my dad's best friend. And, we would just have such good times together, being men. Uncle Jeff has continued on what my dad showed me of being a man every single time that I was with him. And we're going to miss him so much, but I think the important thing for us, Caprera and Spillane boys, is to remember that we are now at that age where it's our turn to take that torch from Uncle Jeff and from Gary Caprera, to stand up and to be men for our mothers and for our sisters. That's our job. And for every other one of you young men who ever knew Uncle Jeff and loved him as much as we did and cherished the memories and the lessons that he taught us, we need to continue that. And I just want to end on the last time that I saw Uncle Jeff before his passing. He came over in his big truck with a huge load of firewood, his 3 boys, and they were unloading it at the house, and I came over and I got to see him. And we said to each other, "We're going to go out. We're going to talk. I got to give you the update. I want to hear how, Montana was your hunting trip." And I gave him one last good handshake.